Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today I'll share with you some easy rustic Christmas DIYs. For the first project, I will share with you some artwork that can be perfect for Christmas and even winter. So I saw a couple of these beautiful Christmas tree artworks, some from Magnolia, some from other places, and they're all very expensive. As many of you know, I like to paint anytime that I can. So I picked up this frame from Dollar Tree, 8 by 10, and I decided to use that one. I took everything out, including the glass, because I didn't want to use glass in my project. So I took the insert from this frame, and then I had this, it's kind of like a sticky wrapping paper or contact paper, yes. And it's a little textured. It really looks like canvas. That's what I had on hand. If you have something else, you can certainly use that. But I wrapped it pretty much like a present. I just wanted to wrap it nicely so the front is smooth. After that, this is how it looks like. I wish you can see the texture, but it really looks like a canvas. So next, I gathered all the different shades of green color that I had on hand. Really, you can use any that you have on hand. You don't have to go ahead and purchase anything just for this. And I do like to paint, but I'm not really professional or anything like that. I never took any classes. So I just go ahead and add paint where I think the paint should go to create the painting. And in this case, it's a Christmas tree. So as you can see, I switched back and forth between two sizes of brush, and I was just dipping in different paints and creating a Christmas tree, or actually just tree in this case. So like I said, just I was adding paint back and forth to create that shading that I wanted, and to be kind of similar to some of those pictures. I really wanted to create more like a Christmas looking tree, but then I really liked the texture that the canvas picture that I showed earlier created. So what I did, I used this paint, I lathered it up pretty much on some places, so that created kind of a texture, and I really like that. So now you can just enjoy watching me paint. Okay, when I was happy with the way it looked like, I just took this brown acrylic paint that I had on hand, and I created a stem. After I created a stem, I just used a wet wipe to kind of like dilute the paint on my paintbrush, and I created the ground underneath. So I didn't want a lot of paint. I just really used whatever is left over on the brush. Now I'm using the gold color that again I had on in my Arteza package of paints, and I added star on top and dots. And this is the part that really makes it Christmassy. I didn't want to overdo it. I really just added a few raised dots. I added all around the tree, and that was pretty much it. I really didn't want added anything else, but if you really want, you can add Merry Christmas wording on top or on the bottom, or anything that you really wish to this painting. So now I already had that gold paint from earlier, and then I added this kind of like a darker brownish, but more like copper color. I mixed those two, and I'm using a paper towel to just dab all around this frame, because the frame is really gold color and I didn't want that color. I wanted it to look more vintage. Now, if you have a rub and buff, this will be perfect for this type of project, but really this worked as well. I just wanted to use what I had on hand. I didn't want to go ahead and buy too many things. So when it was dry, this is how it looked like. You can put the Mod Podge on top, but I didn't think it was necessary. Okay, but I used Mod Podge on the top of this painting. So when everything was completely dried, I used the brush and the Mod Podge, and this one was not glossy, it's a matte. So I just did like a not thick, not too thick, but not also thin layer, going back and forth, left and right with this brush to create kind of a texture. It's hard to see, but I think you can visualize what I'm doing. Just going left and right, crisscross pretty much. And that will, at the end, create, when it dries out, create that realistic looking effect that it really look like a painting, not like something that amateur painted or nothing like this, that you can buy in a store. So here it is again, slower. What I'm doing when everything was dried, I tried to show you how it looks like, but it's really hard. On a camera it doesn't really show, but you can see a little bit of sheen over here, and it really looks like a painting. So now I'm going to put this in the frame. When I was putting it, I thought just this and the backing will be enough, but actually it was moving around. So what I did, I took the backing back out, and I put the glass on the top of the picture, and then I put the backing in. So that way everything was secured back in place, and this is it. I absolutely love this, how this turned out. I want to hear what you guys think about it. I think it's a perfect addition to any shelf, and I think it can be, like I said, throughout the winter as well. And if you don't want this type of frame for winter, you can go ahead and exchange it, put it in a different color frame, and it's just perfect. Tell me what you think about this idea. This video is part of the Christmas collab with my dear friends that we gather once a month, and the host is always Leanna DIY. Guests this month are Crafting My Best Life with Lisa and Crafting with Maria. Beside me also are joining Farm Charm Chic, Lori by DIY, and DIY with Amber. You guys will get great inspiration from all these ladies. Make sure to go ahead and check out my description box for the link to the playlist, and also I will pin it in the comments down below. Alrighty, next one will be vintage looking tabletop Christmas tree. I saw this beautiful set of vintage looking decor pieces from Pottery Barn, but as you can see, it's $49, and I knew I could create something to give the same effect. So I already had on hand this craft paper from the Dollar Tree, or actually pieces of it, but it's just regular cardboard poster board from the Dollar Tree, and it was only $1.25, or I believe maybe $1. Anyway, I just happened to have a gold one. You don't have to have a gold one. You can have any color you want and just paint it or spray paint it later. So I took one and I free-handed a leaf. You can use a template if you don't want to free-hand it. And I used that one for a template for the rest of them. So after I cut them all out, I will put them aside, and then I will go ahead and take the other piece of the poster board that I had on hand, and I will just create the cone that will represent the Christmas tree. If you've never made the cone, it's really easy. You just start from one corner and then wrapping it up, and you can, as tighter as you wrap it, the Christmas tree is narrower on the bottom. I use the hot glue to secure the ends and cut off the excess to make it stable and straight. So next I folded each leaf in half, and that's because on the inspiration picture you can see the middle is folded. So after I did this to all of them, this is how they look like. I put them aside, and then I'm taking the Christmas tree cone that I created earlier, and I will use a hot glue to attach each leaf on top of the tree. So I'm starting from the bottom, and also I will just making sure that the bottom part of the Christmas tree aligns with the pointy part of this leaf, because I don't want it to be any longer. It's not going to sit on anything. It will sit on itself, like on the base of the cone. So now I'm doing the same thing with the other one. I'm putting them next to each other, and I will do that all the way around. When all that is done, I'm going to go ahead and start with the second layer, and here it is. So the second layer will be also a little bit above the first one, and making sure that the pointy part goes in between the bottom two, if that makes sense. You see me doing that over here, and you do that as best as you can. You don't have to overlap them. I didn't want that, so I did as best as I could. So now I'm going to do the same thing all the way to the top, and then when I came to the last two, I really made sure that the top is secured very well. And for the last one, I actually cut out even more to be able to fit properly. So I cut the shape of the leaf to fit better. Alrighty, now that I have that, I didn't have any spray paint on hand, so what I did, I used, like I said, this brown pearl paint and also the golden one that I had on hand and a brush, and I just dabbed the paint all the way around. Some were heavier, some were less heavier, really depending what you wanted to create. And this is how it looks like when everything is dry. I absolutely love this tree. I think it fits perfectly with what I wanted to go for this year. As you guys know, we're not in our house, so all the decor is different, but I just wanted to start creating something, and I love how this turned out. Tell me what you think. For all of you that are new to our channel, welcome. We're so happy you are here. Over here, you can see a lot of budget-friendly DIYs, decor ideas, thrift flips, and some maybe home improvement DIYs here and there because, like I said, we're now renting, we moved, we're not in the same place anymore, but a lot of good content. So if something like that interests you, please subscribe and click on notification bell on. That way you will not miss out any of our future videos, and give this video a thumbs up because that's what helps us getting push on a YouTube. Also, I would like for you to introduce yourself in the comments down below. Tell me what is your Christmas theme this year, what color scheme you're going to be using, and also what would you like to see me create in the next videos. Alrighty, next will be a vintage looking Christmas vase. This was also inspired from that Pottery Barn picture that I showed you earlier. So now I'm taking this glass, it was from the wheat yogurt. I had a leftover and I really like the shape of it. So what I did, I used a Mod Podge and I dabbed it on all over it. So I didn't want to brush it. I just dabbed it. That way it created this kind of cool pattern. And after I used a heat gun to speed up the drying, I was making sure not to bring it too close because it's going to bubble up. So after heating it up and drying it, this is how it turned out. It really looks like just a frosty glass. Okay, after that, again, I'm using the same two colors that I used previously for the Christmas tree, and I will just go ahead and dab it onto this glass bowl, jar, cup, whatever it is. So as you can see me doing over here, I'm just dabbing it, really no rhyme or reason, just whatever you think it's appropriate. So somewhere I added a little bit heavier, somewhere a little bit less. I really wanted it to look vintage and I wanted it to have texture. After I was all done with this, I left it to dry very good, and then I took one of the pine cones that I found on our walk and I put it on top, and that's it. This is like a mini Christmas tree or a vase for a Christmas tree. I think it looks so adorable. I will probably later on add some white paint on this pine cone because right now we live in a coastal area. There's not going to be snow, so this is going to be my idea of a snow. Tell me what you think about this idea. Okay, and the last one will be vintage looking bell. Again, inspired by the picture from the Pottery Barn. I'm going to go ahead first and start with this there's a disposable tray from the Dollar Tree. I'm just taking one side of it. As you know, that the edges are like rolled up, so it's a little bit thicker. So now I press it flat, and then I am doubling up, creating a little ring. And I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue and the hot glue to secure it in place. This is the closest thing that I had around the house to create that ring that goes on a bell. After I was done with this, I'm going to go ahead and secure it on another of these yogurt glasses, and I'm going to leave it to dry. Since this is purely decorative, it's totally fine to use just hot glue. I'm going to use the Mod Podge, and there you go. After Mod Podge is dry, this is how it looked like. Again, I'm going to do the same technique that I used earlier for the vase. I'm going to add these two gold and brown pearl color to create that vintage effect. After everything was done and after everything was painted and dried, this is how it looked like. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the jute twine that I had on hand. Unfortunately, I didn't have any nautical rope or any thicker jute twine. So what I did, I took this one and I got a longer piece, and then I folded several times and I used several strands together. So now I'm just pulling it through and creating a knot at the end, cutting off the excess, and that's pretty much it. So I really love how this one turned out. I might create more of these, put them next to each other, or maybe like tie them three all together. But I love how it turned out. Tell me what you think about this idea and also all the other ideas I created in this video. And you're going to see them in a minute over here all together. Here they are. Tell me what you think. Which one was your favorite? Also, don't forget to check out the description box and the pinned comment for the link to the playlist to see what everybody else created. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you in our next video. Bye, guys.